Hello, everyone. Charles here again. This is part two of Evidence or Proof, and I strongly recommend that you watch part one before watching this video. Do you hear this? I hear this all the time. Where's your proof? I can prove the earth is round. There's no proof the earth is flat or level. Prove it. 200 proofs of a flat earth. I just proved it to you. And as in the last video, we used Beauvier's dictionary to define proof as the conviction or persuasion of the mind of a judge or jury by the exhibition of evidence of the reality of a fact alleged, as to prove, as to determine or persuade that a thing does or does not exist. And the point I made in the last video was that the persuasion, the proof is in the mind of the person who looks at the evidence. So you can't prove anything to anybody if they don't want to believe your evidence. And I can look at the sun, that's the evidence, and to me, the sun does not look 93 million miles away. Now, somebody else can look at the same sun and go, yeah, it looks 93 million miles away to them. So how are you going to convince them otherwise? Same thing with the moon. I look up at the moon on a nice clear night, and I am not persuaded that the moon, as we have been told, is 238,000 miles away. Sorry, folks, I'm not convinced in my mind by the evidence that the allegation of the moon being 238,000 miles away to be true, to be the reality. I'm not convinced in my mind. The same can be said for the earth being a spinning sphere. I look at the evidence available to me while standing right here on the earth, and given the evidence I can experience for myself, I'm sure as hell not persuaded that I am spinning around at over 1,000 miles per hour. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not convinced. I'm not persuaded. Further, when I examine the evidence of the Earth's curvature, I am not persuaded, I am not convinced the Earth is a sphere. So let's take, as a second witness, let's take Black's Law Dictionary, the second edition. I like to go back in time and as far as I can to get a definition of words. So Black's Law Dictionary, second edition, says a proof is sufficient evidence or an argument for the truth of a proposition. A proof is sufficient evidence or an argument. Most people who try to prove a proposition or an alleged fact provide insufficient evidence or inadmissible evidence. Inadmissible evidence is evidence that would not be admitted into a court trial because for one reason or another it violates one or more of the rules of evidence. This, folks, the blue marble provided by NASA, is not evidence, is not proof of a spherical Earth as seen from space. So all you bozos, don't show us this picture anymore to say that this is proof. It's not. You couldn't bring, if you brought this into a courtroom as proof of our Earth, that judge would laugh at you. And this CGI provided by NASA is not evidence, is not proof of a spherical Earth as seen from space. This would be inadmissible evidence in court. This image provided by NASA is not evidence, is not proof man went to the moon. This would be inadmissible evidence in court. This image provided by NASA is not evidence, is not proof that the International Space Station exists. This is not admissible evidence. Hollywood movie is not evidence, is not proof that gravity exists. This is where most of you people get your facts. You've been brainwashed by Hollywood. This would be inadmissible evidence in court, folks. And, to many, evidence doesn't matter. The one last point I want to make is this. To some people, you can provide them with all the admissible evidence existing, and they will never be convinced that the evidence proves your case, proves your point for the reality or the truth of a matter or a fact. Some people, and sadly enough, way too many people, don't give a rat's arse about the facts, about the evidence, about the truth. They're going to stick with what they think they know, no matter the facts, no matter the reality, no matter the truth. And one poster child example of this is the O.J. Simpson trial. I remember this trial very well. It was in the news for weeks during the mid-1990s, early 1990s. And here's a quote from this link right here, CNN. So it's an acceptable source to all you I don't even know how to. I want to say bozos. Now here's a quote. The pool of prospective jurors in the O.J. Simpson civil trial split along racial lines Tuesday, with whites saying Simpson was probably guilty of murder and African Americans saying he is innocent. To the black jurors in the O.J. Simpson civil trial held in the 1990s, despite the evidence, despite the facts, despite the proof, O.J. Simpson was innocent. He was thus acquitted of murdering 2 people. And people, the truth be damned. Too many people don't give a damn about the facts, about the evidence, about the truth of a matter. And that is why you or I cannot prove anything to anyone. Proof takes place in the minds of the prover. They have to be persuaded in their own minds about the truth of a matter. And as the scripture says, today we live in a world where truth doesn't matter at all to most people. Most people today do not embrace the love of the truth. They have itching ears. Most nominal Christians that I know, and the vast majority of Christians around the world, and especially here in the United States, they have itching ears which certain false teachers love to scratch. All these people, right? All these false teachers right here, they know exactly what they're doing, folks. Don't you kid yourself. This guy makes millions and millions of dollars. I listened to this guy while I lived overseas because I didn't have anything else to do sometimes, and just for a few hours. This guy, Kenneth Copeland, he's slick, boy. He's good at what he does. All these people are very, very well, very, very well trained to suck the money out of you people. I wouldn't give any of these people a friggin' penny, baby. And you've all heard this. People can't handle the truth. They can't handle it. Hollywood is built up, and the Talmud vision has built up an illusionary world that they believe what they see on the television screen. Schindler's List, for example, was built on a book that was fiction. It says right on the front pages of the book, Schindler's List is a work of fiction. And most people today think that what they saw on Schindler's List is fiction. Folks, I could go on and on and on. all you have to do to convince an American of anything is show them an image and have somebody like Megyn Kelly or Sean Hannity or somebody like that tell them what it means, and they accept it without question, without the slightest doubt that they're being told the truth. And frankly, people, it's sickening. It is so sickening. It's hard to live here in this country. And anyway, from a personal experience in court, this is where I first began to realize that not the first time, but I mean, it was really driven home when I had my personal experience in court. I could tell you of instance after instance where evidence, where facts, where the reality of the matter under consideration didn't matter at all to the judges. They didn't give, and to the jury. I'm telling you, I documented many of these instances in my book, Deadbeat Dad. You can find the book here. You know, to help support this work in a small way, kindly consider purchasing and reading my book, Deadbeat Dad, which you can purchase here at this link. And then when you're done reading it, please pass it on to other people. You've got to understand what's going on in our courtrooms today. The judges that oversee our legal system, and I lived in California, and I now live in Montana, and it's the exact same way here. Everywhere you go, these judges it's a racket. These attorneys and these judges are making millions of dollars off of people, and it's all a big scam, folks. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please, if you do, like, subscribe, and share. And again, I have a website, charlesfolkart.com, and keyrexreplies.wordpress.com. And for more material from an Anglo-Israelite male perspective, I encourage you to look there. So, once again, until next time, see ya.
It's crucial to remember that people pay more attention to your demeanor than they do your evidence.
That's right.
It's crucial to remember that people pay more attention to your demeanor than they do your evidence.
That's right.